Hope everyone's doing well out there and survived April Fool's Day. If you guys got any good stories about that, let me know. If your kids or nephews or nieces or anybody else like that kind of played a trick on you, let me know. Should be fun. Drop them in the comments. All right, so let's dive into a couple things. I've had a couple posts out here I wanted to show you guys, and we'll talk about. So the NASDAQ is firing a red or a negative Moxie price trigger on the daily chart, and that is after we have been seeing it trending down for quite some time. Now, we know that the market has been very high up and very elevated, and we've kind of been looking around trying to figure out, okay, when is this thing going to start rolling over? And I don't know, it kind of feels like yesterday might have been a little bit of one of those days where, the markets were down, okay, gap down, but it just felt like there was a little bit more of a reverberation throughout the market than there had been in the past, especially on these dips. We also saw that the TNX, so interest rates starting to break out a little bit. So I think that's also putting some pressure on the market. And so these are some things that I'm putting out there on Twitter, X, and that we've been starting to kind of talk about and say, hey, I think we need to be aware of them. All right. So other than that, let's see, just going into the market as a whole, and we can look in here. And the one thing that I have been talking about and noticing and bringing attention to my subscribers that have the Moxie indicator is that we have been seeing this trending lower. You can see that the indicator is putting in lower highs as the market has been moving upward. Um, and like even back here, I was kind of thinking, oh, okay, then maybe this is it. Like we just break out to over 5,000, we get outside of this trend line, and it's a little bit too much, and we should be breaking down. But the market kept staying up. In fact, it tested this trend line, it tested the moving average, and it continued to just keep plowing upward. But at some point, I do think that this is going to be a problem. I don't know if that's this week, like what we're starting to see. I am still hesitant. I did take some positions off yesterday, but I think we should be aware of this growing negative divergence in through here. So at some point, it will matter. Until then, the S&P at least has been doing a really great job of holding the daily 21 right in through here. So I'm going to be looking around to see when that finally changes and if that will be an issue. I think of course it will be an issue because price is going to be now breaking below the daily 21. And honestly, we're really overdue for it. I mean, this market has been up for so long, it's really pretty crazy and pretty insane. So yeah, we're kind of looking at that, and it's just like, how much further can this thing go? We're already seeing that the Nasdaq has been pulling back, so we'll come over there, show you guys what that looks like. Yeah, so again, the Moxie indicator has been, kind of down here in week. It hasn't really been, it's been challenging to read the hourly because it's just so choppy. So we've kind of been taking it as, hey, the market's still generally up. It's still above moving averages, green light. But the Moxie indicator is, right there. So it hasn't painted yet, so it's still moving. And that's why, yesterday we could see that it was fired, but today not, because it's still not quite finished. We do have a squeeze. It'll be interesting to see if that squeeze actually fires to the downside, or if this market's really just going to chill out by going sideways. That is a possibility. This is why I haven't shorted anything yet, at least. Not sure if I'm going to, but it's tough to know how the market, when something like this happens and it gets overbought, like how is the market going to fix that condition? Is it going to just basically chill out and go sideways like that and wait until moving averages kind of come up to it and just basically correct its condition with time, as opposed to something like this that we saw at the end of the summer where price actually went down and we had to get back into that? I could see the argument for honestly either way, because if we look at the past, what is kind of the situation that we're seeing right now? I would say that we should at least see price, even on the Nasdaq or even on the S&P, should probably come down to the weekly 21. We just see that very often, and right now it has been a very long time since this has happened. So, yeah, that's kind of my rough target. I actually thought that was going to start 2 weeks ago, but here we are still creeping up. But that's fine. We've been trading to the long side, been taking advantage of it, no problem. And at this point, it's like, well, when's that going to happen? And if it does start to happen, then we're prepared for it. That's okay. The other thing, if we look kind of back at the VIX as well, We are starting to see this come back again. So there was a point last week when the FOMC, happened, and Jerome Powell, reiterated that he's still looking to cut interest rates. The VIX totally collapsed, and so the market shot up again. We had a number of names doing pretty well, and that was great. But now we're looking at this, and it might actually end up being basically, if I can draw that better, there we go, a double bottom. And based on the Moxie indicator, we could be at a trampoline move. And the trampoline move is when price is below the 50, but the Moxie indicator is above 0. So, and brighter side, I know if you're out there, since I know we've been talking about the short side for quite some time, and I know it's been really frustrating because, as you can see, nothing's really been sticking. You know, we don't really have much of a trend yet or a trend change. The market is still up like this, and it has been very choppy. So honestly, the short side hasn't worked unless you are going to be day trading or like trading once, like 1 or 2 days, length. Maybe we're going to get something, but I just still need to caution you that, a 2 or 3 day move could actually bring this down to where we need to be. So right there, you could just see that was, call it 3 solid days of movement, and then it found support and it continued up. And so if this thing wants to go lower, we could just get 3 days and then we come back up. So it could be, trading on the short side, still challenging. Yeah, still not buying this move up, going short after Powell's done. Yeah, what's his schedule? Is it today or this week? Because I know he had the FOMC, and that was kind of the big thing that I pay attention to. And other than that, he is just making the circuits, making the rounds, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it would be great if we could see something a little bit more like this. Oh, 30 minutes today, huh? Okay. I'll find that on YouTube. So yeah, we'll just have to see. As I said, I brought in a few trades and we cashed some stuff in. We still have quite a few trades on because, the market's still doing its thing. In fact, AA, look at this one. Look at that thing. Look at that. That has been doing us fantastically. So really, really happy about that one. And for aluminum, I mean that's pretty nice. That was a great thing. And if you guys remember the virtual money show that we did, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, 2, 3 weeks ago, this is one of those. This was the trade that I put out there on the virtual money show, and so I wanted to make sure that you guys got some value for coming to it. And this was it. I called it, and it was right there that I said that this was my pick for that show. So I hope some of you guys out there were able to take advantage of it because we're in it, and it's treating us very, very well. Yeah, that's really great. Let's see, roughly like, yeah, 18, 19%. That's nice. That's nice for aluminum. And then let's see. Let's look at CENX and how that one's doing. Oh yeah, Century Aluminum. There's another one. And to boot, look at this. So for those of you who are out there, maybe you're new to me, haven't really seen me too much, or wondering what the Moxie indicator is, look at this. This is how the Moxie indicator works. You see how price was below the daily 50, and normally if you're looking at moving averages, you're like, oh, it's down in the dumps, it's below the moving averages, it's not doing well. Well, what the Moxie indicator is actually trying to tell you, because the indicator is still above 0, it's still in positive territory, it's telling you that you should look at this as a potential high pressure move, because it is like, imagine price being underneath water, and it's like a beach ball that you've pushed underwater, and that's what the indicator with price underneath the 50 is basically telling you. And so if it works and it starts coming up, it wants to just shoot it right back up, and that's exactly it. That's why I call it a trampoline move. It comes down like this and boom, shoots it up like that. And then as you're watching the entire process, notice that you've got price kind of level to down. Notice that the Moxie indicator keeps moving up and up and up. And you guys want to look at about timing so you don't miss this. We have scans for this kind of stuff. You can scan for a Moxie price trigger. And you look at this and you see right there that that was when the Moxie indicator crossed over 0. And then you get into some of the special Moxie patterns, and right there, price starts to hold and it starts to move up right there. I mean, this is literally a textbook setup for the Moxie indicator and for how I teach things. And that those of you who join the Moxie room, you guys learn all this kind of stuff, and I show you, and I got all the paperwork, and I got the glossary and the rules and everything like this. And that's exactly what you're looking for. I mean, this is literally textbook. And even let's see, Century Aluminum, we'll just say from here to here, wow, geez, 58%. Guess I was in the wrong stock. I wonder if Alcoa can do something like that. Wow. Yeah, 58% for aluminum. That's a crazy move. Yeah, that's a oof. Let's see, when was that? That was roughly March or April. Yeah, March 6th. Let's see, AA. When did I get in that one? March 6th. When was that? Oh, that was all the way back here. Yeah. So while Century Aluminum was ripping, then Alcoa was really just kind of going sideways. Now it looked good, and again with the whole trampoline move, this is what got my eye on it. You guys see here how price dipped below the hourly 50, but you see how the Moxie indicator was above zero? Trampoline move. And so that's why when it got back over here, we got in it, and now we're up like this. So yeah, we're gonna have to see how long this thing could go, but I can't believe that CNX went 58%. That's a big, big move. Jay Washington, what do I watch for my trading news? Pretty much none, honestly. The charts will tell you everything you need to know, and for the most part, news is after the fact. Journalists, for the most part, don't really know what's going on, and there's also manipulation out there. You know, a lot of things will put. Like, I mean, think about this. Uh, let's see if SMCI. So, do you guys remember, was it Bank of America, something like that, put out a buy rating or an upgrade on SMCI at $1,000? Okay, so when you talk about news, a lot of it can be just manipulation because they're talking their books. Okay, the big companies, big firms, they have reporters that they work with, and they say, "Hey, look, we're going to put out this buy rating, and because we probably need to unload some shares." And that's what they did. I mean, look at this. They came out with a buy rating at 1,000, and look what it did that day, and then the next day into it. Now, granted, sure, it kind of went up after that, but really, if you look, it still hasn't gone anywhere. So for anybody who got out there and noticed that there was something that from Bank of America or wherever it was that said buy SMCI at 1,000, you got screwed the next day. So no, it's really challenging and tough to want to look at news. Like maybe you can read it, you can stay up on stuff and kind of know what's going on in the world. But if you take your trading advice from that, I don't think it doesn't work well. The other thing, let me show you this. There was a list. I saw it on, I don't know, like Shark or Stock Shark or something like that on Twitter or on Instagram. And they said something about, oh yeah, here's some undervalued semiconductor stocks. And I'm thinking, okay, yeah, let's see what these things are, because the whole semiconductor space has been going for a long time now. It's kind of like everybody and their grandma knows that SMCI and Nvidia have been going crazy. So everyone's like, oh, well, what else can we publish that will say semiconductors that's going to get a lot of clicks? And so they came up with this. And I'm just thinking, okay, let's go look at the semiconductor ETF here. And it's looking like it's flagging. And right now it's, well, honestly, I thought it was going to be a little bit weaker than this, but it's actually looking decent up there. So it definitely needs to take a break. We know that much. And then if we look here, TSEM was one of them. And really, I want to go to, maybe let's do this view. This doesn't really look like a stock that I want to get into, because it's still coming up from its dip and its pullback, and it doesn't look like something I'd really want to look into yet. And do I really want to buy a laggard, or do I want to buy a leader? Let's see, RMBS. This was another one. This doesn't look like it's going anywhere. In fact, it's been chilling out for months. So RMBS doesn't really look like something that I'd be interested in yet. Now maybe I'd watch it, but for this publication, it doesn't look like it's doing anything. How about SWKS, Skyworks? Does that look exciting? No, that hasn't been doing anything. So I don't want to put my money with there either. How about NXPI? This was another one that they put out. Okay, that one's looking a little better. That might be all right. But depending on when that article came out, I don't really want to buy it up there. I don't want to buy it there or there. So just because they say something, you need to then take your own effort and look at these things and make sure that they're okay. You can't just say, oh, they told me to do something, I'm going to buy it. MCHP, same thing. Does that really look like something I want to buy and hold? No, not really. I mean, honestly, this thing has been more or less sideways for a couple years. So that one doesn't look good. If it starts to break out or starts to show differences, sure, okay, but right now I don't think so. ON, do I want to buy that? Are you kidding me? Like, this publication said, oh, this is some of the other ones that you can watch. Like, no, that has been in a bear flag for a few months. Then TXN, Texas Instruments, good company, but is it going anywhere? No, no way. Or and then AMAT. AMAT's okay. I think that this one's pretty good, but again, I'm not sure if I really want to buy it way up here. That would have been better down here. But yes, okay, finally they got a good name, but maybe a little too far up, so you got to wait for an opportunity. And then Qualcomm, this has been another one that's been pretty decent. And so basically, what out of what was it 10 names? There were two that I said kind of had any kind of potential, and even at that, you're gonna have to wait and find your kind of our opportunity to get in on it. So yeah, just careful with those news outlets and publishing medias and stuff like that. Let's see, ERIC. Is this Eric Erickson? Yeah, I don't know. I understand why you're looking at it. It's kind of down here and over the moving average and then pulled back into the moving average. So this would be definitely something I would be watching. And yeah, brighter side to see that you're watching it. We'll have to see, can it actually move up and out? Now, I would also wait definitely until after earnings, since earnings is right around the corner. But we're going to have to see if this level can hold and if it actually can start moving up. And if it can, then hey, maybe it can do something. It seems like it's got opportunity, but it has been a laggard, and we got to make sure these things actually get up and go. And then yeah, gold has been pretty good. I didn't think it was going to be quite this exciting. Otherwise, yeah, I would have gotten into it. Gosh, even here was a next opportunity right through there. And silver is also doing the same thing. It's been perking up. So I'll have to see. I don't want to be catching it up here. It's obviously a little too high. So yeah, we'll give it another opportunity and keep looking at this. If these things are going to go, because if you look at this, how long silver has been consolidating here, and it's finally 1 month up. Well, we probably have more to go, and so we just have to kind of keep an eye on it and say, okay, if this thing's going to go, let's watch for pullbacks. Let's watch for better opportunities to get into, and hopefully it goes for a while. But yeah, I told people long ago, don't short silver. I said, yeah, maybe it's kind of all over the place, but I said I wouldn't short it. And if you guys want to see about timing, again with the Moxie indicator, look right there. There's your Moxie price trigger on silver. And even this on the daily chart, look right here. There's your daily Moxie price trigger, and even there, hourly Moxie price trigger. So yeah, they're there. If this is your group, if this is your sector, there were quite a few things to notify you. But yeah, I was busy with all the other things that we've been trading. So yeah, we're going to be diving deep into some of these things. I'm also noticing some other categories and sectors that are still doing strong. I know we talk about oil a lot, so we've got some oil names, but we do have a session actually in an hour and a half, I think, whatever my central session is. So for those of you who are not part of the Simpler Trading family, come on over. We've got $7 trials for 30 days. If you want to check it out, we have that for the Moxie indicator, and we have that for the central room. So it would be great to come and see you guys come in here, say hi, let me know that you saw me on Facebook or YouTube, and that's how you kind of found your way in. And for that, we're going to be talking about more of the things that I'm seeing out there and where the opportunities are in the central room. All right, guys, take care. We'll see you at the next one.